booties for black girl nerds.
Okay, we're
I
recording now. We're live, set, ready to go.
We're ready to go. It is a honor and a privilege to speak with you. My 10-year-old self would have never thought this day would come. So
Thank you.
I really appreciate you taking the time to speak to Black Girl Nerds and having this conversation with me today. So many of us during the height of
Okay, hold
the
on.
Milli Vanilli, we know the story, right? We knew about it during the height of your career with Milli Vanilli, and it's been a long part of our music history. So why tell this story now in 2024?
You can see the exploitation factor and aspect of our stories where they just made sure that they kept on making the money. Let's make the money. Let's keep on doing that. And I was never I had never been to America before that. So I was really foreign to how things were and how people were relating to another. We were very trusting as well, but quickly, when we got over there, we knew we had an accent. So the first time we set with the label, even with Clive Davis, you know, I knew that look. They were looking at us like, oh, and then Clive knew, he knew all along. But the executives who didn't know, they were kind of like surprised. And I was like, oh, okay, here we go. They don't know, but now they know. So, and then it lasted as long as it lasted. And the military train kept going and it went quick, quick, quick. We made over $300 million. With that money was reallocated to new investments like new labels, Clive Davis, LaFace Record, Bad Boy Records, So Def, all those labels, and I'm not taking anything away from all those artists. I'm just saying without that money, some of those artists wouldn't have had the financial support that they got, you know. And sadly, in the end, the majority of those artists who were under those umbrellas actually suffered the same situation that I suffered. Tony Braxton, Broke, Chapter 14, and I can name TLC, and I can name uh, so many. The only few Usher is one of the few that was able to rise above. And now he's in Vegas and he still puts out music after year. He's been able to sustain. But a lot of them are gone down, and it's really sad. So it's like by design, the industry is not really friendly to artists. But you think that as an artist, when you enter the music industry, you think, oh, they got my back. It's a family. I'm gonna make it. But by design, when you sign a contract, by the way, my contract was in German. I'm a French dude. And when I signed the contract, it was in German, and I said, Robin, is it okay? Say, yeah, 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 it's okay. So I just signed that paper, and that was it. But to go back to what I'm saying is like artists are not truly protected. They're used. And when you look at the way those contracts are structured, it's like a loan. And then year after year, you have to repay that loan. Album after album, you repay that loan, and you're always in the red. And then you wonder, like, why am I not making it? And then, a lot of artists turned out to become, totally disillusioned. They end up bad emotionally, physically, financially. You got to be really, really strong. And I'm so glad that I'm here today, and I can tell you my story. And like you said, you were 10 years old. Who would have thought that Jenny would have been sitting with Fab right there, listening to me, telling her, hey, listen. So now it took some time to get here, but year after year, I've been able to get some of my old fans back, make new fans. Now I even flip Girl You Know It's True. We got a new single coming out, supported by Sony. I did Blame It on the Rain acoustic, and people say, I'm confused because you're singing. I say, yeah, that was a narrative. That's what it was. That we were used. There was not much we could do because it was a machine, and we didn't want to go after the machine. We thought we would never work in this town again, so we stayed in the machine until we thought we could cross over to another company and then record an album. And then, Frank Farian would let us go. But he went to New York, told the world they didn't sing. And the people that we were working with and trying to transition with were like, no, 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 can't touch you, can't touch that, you know? So it was a really harsh journey. And as a result, Rob died of a broken heart. It really did. You know, we could have saved him, but because of, yeah, and again, if I could go back in time and change anything, I would have made sure that he would have never lost his life, never gotten so addicted to drugs, sing on the record. And there you have a different type of story. Then you have more chances of living a normal life, because I always thought, could there be a life after Milli Vanilli? I didn't know. All I knew that there was my voice, it was an instinct telling me, okay, it's bad. What can I do? Music is the only thing that I feel like that I want to do makes me feel good. So through the years, I gained my confidence, my self-esteem. I forgave the people who used me and abused me and exploited me. And then I kept on getting better. And then more people came to my table and wanted to join with me and say, hey man, I want to work with you. And and through the years, I never let up. People don't know that. But now if you look at YouTube and you look at Girl, I'm gonna Miss You is 200 and like 30 million views, and Girl Knows to 170 million views. So I guess I've done my work, I've done my job, and I'm pushing along. And let's see where it leads. Let's see.
Indeed. I mean,
I know there is a delay. That's why I'm making sure that I'm giving you the stuff.
no, that's fine. And I think the tech has sorted itself out. I
Okay.
really love you giving me that landscape and the trajectory of how things have happened throughout the years. And one of the things that was very interesting to me while watching this film was about the racial makeup of Milli Vanilli
Yeah.
fans back then, because I remember when I first listened to you guys, I was introduced to you guys by my white girlfriend. Like, she was, my neighbor across the street, and she's like, you got to listen to this
Right.
group called Vanilli. And one of the things that the film points out is that there were more white female fans
True.
than black fans and black female fans. So were you aware of that at that time, of the racial
Well,
makeup of your fans?
well, the thing is, when I was in Europe, we knew about BT, Black Entertainment Television, right? And then when we came to America, we were introduced to BT. But really quick, they they called us. I've never heard that term. And we asked like, "Hey, what's up with BT?" And we're like, "Well, you're a crossover act." So So I was like, what does that mean? Well, that means like in America, when you're black, essentially you go to a black label. You sign to you have a black A&R, and your R&B act, you stay in the black charts, and possibly, but that was new. That was very new. Michael Jackson did that. He was a crossover act. There were not many acts like that, and we were one of the few. MTV, I remember Epic had to tell MTV, yo, listen, we are not giving you any more artists if you're not putting Michael on. So Michael was one of the first crossover. And then when we came in, they crossed us over really quick because they knew there was money there. But then as a result, our relationship with the black entertainment kind of suffered because there was all kinds of stuff in the press back then. It was not nice. You know, it was nice. They were criticizing us for using white girls in the video, but we came from Europe, so we didn't know nothing. And then suddenly the label was like, "Yo, listen, next video, we gotta have black women in there, and you can't be seen with white girls." And like, what are they talking about? And we were really unaware of all the racial, situation in America. I had heard, but I didn't know how in entertainment, how it played an important role, you know. But year after year, I got a clarification of how things work. So for Milli Vanilli to arrive in America and to jump right away onto MTV and go into the pop charts, that was something that was kind of unheard of. And that's something that in the movie they kind of touch on, but as you know, 2 hours and 10 minutes, they couldn't really stay long. But the undertone that I heard into the press conference at the end, it was so racist. It was like, damn. But it took me some years to get the nuances. You know, I had to stay in America, learn the language, learn how to produce, learn how to write my songs. And suddenly I was looking at it from a different distance. And I started to understand what happened. And then I wondered, I was like, okay, so if my name was Paul and Rob's was John, would it be the same thing? You know, so that was always something I always thought about because it was brutal. Like it was so brutal to a point where we were just a punchline and they forgot. And maybe that's what happened when you're a celebrity, you're being built, and in the end, it's time to burn you down. And back then, there were only four outlets. So when the narrative was written, and as a matter of fact, the NAACP tried to come and try to call and try to reach out to us, I was told, but I was told 10 years later. I didn't know because the label, RSS said, oh, we don't know where they are. They went back to Europe. They didn't want the NAACP on their butts, that's for sure. So they made sure that they didn't want to deal with that because if the NAACP would have been involved, would have looked into it a little deeper, and then we would have changed the narrative and the scapegoating that took place, where the label ran away to the hills, to their beautiful hills, and everyone got paid. You know, they put their kids through school, they got their mortgage, and I understand you got a job to do, and you know, when your boss says you got to do that. But in a documentary, when you ask the question to those executives, they still have an allegiance to the people who are running the game. Clive Davis, you know, and we know by now Clive Davis is not the nicest man in the world, but we were the bad people, you know, the bad guys. They organized everything. They are they are guilty. But what happened to the rest?
Right.
So trust me, it wasn't an easy ride, but it turned me into what I am today. And if my story can elevate someone's journey on their journey and inspire them and make them think before they do anything, or maybe make sure that, oh yeah, I need an attorney, I need management, I need to trust people around me. You know, if I can do that, if I am that guy, the poster boy for like, don't let this happen to you, but if you fall, you stand back up, reinvent yourself, and find the strength to go forward. Because once you find something you love, don't let it go. That's going to save you. And music saved my life. I'll say it again. And because I worked on my craft, of course, I'm not the youngest anymore, you know, but I got skills. Careful now. And that's the most important thing. I'm here to touch people with my voice, with my music, and we're just at the beginning of everything, you know. But when it comes to creativity, I'm on poof, you know, it's coming. As a matter of fact, while we talk about creativity and talking about music, fashion is also a big part of and has always been a big part of my life. So I'm starting this brand. We're starting at Fashion Week London on September 15th, fashion show, and it's 8 outfits for women, 4 outfits for men, and we are being inspired by the Milli Vanilli style. Not everything was great in the 80s, but a lot of it was cool. So we kind of designed something with Helen from Lenny Fro and Fab Morvan. We're putting it together. So pay attention to that. It's going to be nice. I'm pretty excited
Retro is
about that.
in. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
You know,
that is definitely going to take off. I'm excited for that.
yeah.
I will definitely look for that myself
With the
personally.
shoulders, with shoulders, and she was at New York Fashion Week, and people loved it. So I am also a retro dreamer in some kind of way, and
Yeah.
I'm so lucky that I'm still here because I got a chance to experience the music from yesteryear. And when I make music now, because I don't fabricate music, no pun intended, I make. And that's why when you're going to listen to me, or if you didn't get a chance to listen to me, for the people that are listening out there, wait till you hear me, and then you'll feel it
But
100%. But this is just the beginning.
just the beginning. I love to see it. My last
Yeah.
question to you is given
Yeah.
the landscape of social media and how it consumes news and information, and if what happened back then with you guys took place today, do you think your story would have been perceived differently?
It would have been very different. Look at today. TikTok, you're famous for being one of the top lip syncers. People, like average people, when some discover social media and they're able to turn their social visibility into money. They can monetize. It would have been very different. We would have turned a couple singles, because now, people on social media, they understand publicists, managers, attorneys. Oh, yeah, I need a social, I need a guy, I need my camera guy, I need my photograph. They know all the facets of what it takes to build something. Whether this something is real, I don't know, because with AI these days, when it comes to like AI making music or AI creating, like my character right now could be created by AI, and I might not be what I am right now. I might be a fiction of your imagination that's been created by a software. That's a whole different thing. So the one thing that we have as artists, the last thing we have left, go on stage, sing it live, baby. If that's all we got left, damn, I feel lucky because I've been on the road every weekend, so I do my thing. I sing, I dance, and I touch the people. So I'll be at a venue near you at some point. But for now, I'm in Europe. We're going to Africa. We're going to South America. We're doing Brazil. I'm doing whether you can pay for my band. I'll be there. I'll be there. Or I'll be with tape show. Whatever I got to do. But I'm gonna come near you and I'm gonna entertain you and I'm gonna show you that when you fall, you gotta stand back up. Just love what you do.
Do you think, just to piggyback off of that, do you think with social media you'd be able to tell your story as well? Because you guys really didn't get the chance to tell your story
No, no.
when that was breaking news, when that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
happening. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we could have, it would have been so nice, That's why I wish Rob would still be here because we could have
Yeah.
really told our story. And, I've done it. During COVID, I went into YouTube and people were like, yo, I did Q&As. People could ask me anything. I have about 67 episodes where I kind of turned their question into a website called Fab Milli, and I spoke about, I shared with them like what tools did I use in order to sustain myself through the years. So I spoke about my story. I didn't give everything, of course. It was just at the surface because I knew there was the doc coming, movies was coming. But now I can go and find a publisher and we're going to do book. And then we're going to give you more details, more juicy stuff because there's a lot more. But the racial content is definitely something that was really really new to us. Like we didn't understand why we were told some of the things we were told, you know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and it's America. There's still a lot of things that have to change. The election's around the corner. Oh damn. My
Yeah.
God. Let's see where the world goes.
And I just think about, I know we've got to wrap soon, but I just think about the press conference as well and how, like, it's on YouTube and you see the full press conference and you see
You
the
see it.
full explanation. But when that happened, you only saw clips of it. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that we never got the full story during that time, but I'm so happy that this film is out to tell your story
Yes.
and you're out
Thank you.
here
Thank
doing
you.
music, and you've got the fashion brand, and you're doing all the things.
Yes.
So, Fab,
Yes.
thank you
Yes.
so
Yes.
much for taking
My pleasure.
the time
And
to
listen,
let
one
my
last
listeners know.
one
Appreciate
last thing. I have to say that
it. Yeah,
the production company who did the movie, they took a gamble. They took two guys that nobody knew, but at two stars are born. They will take you down the gauntlet, and those emotional shoes that Rob used to wear, man, you're gonna be able to feel the pain. And that's I'm so glad they did an amazing job. I gotta give it to them. Simon Fahova, amazing job. Matthias, who plays Frank Farian, awesome. Bella playing Ingrid as well, because all the characters, they're very important in this story, So I'm glad you watched it and you felt it. Hey, go
I
watch it.
did.
Listen to the new
That
versions.
photo of Rob at the end as a young Rob,
Ooh,
that just that yeah, it brought me,
emotional.
it got emotional for me. So
Yeah,
but
man.
yes, I
So
hope that so many people get a chance to see this, because
I hope so too.
everybody
I
deserves
hope
to
so too.
tell their story. So thank you so much.
100%. Thank you. Thank you for that.
All
Until
right.
next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.